I want to read you a poem tonight about my grandmother. And I know that people that have had grandmothers, aunts, uncles, grandfathers, parents in their lives that are special and remarkable, I'm happy for you. You are truly blessed. This grandparent, this grandmother, my father's mother, was a person like that in my life. She lived to be 101 years old, and on her 100th birthday, I wrote her a poem and I read it to her. But I wanted to talk a little bit about her before I read the poem. You remember when I told you about that incident with my best friend and her husband? Well, after a few months of being homeless, waiting till 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night to go and dig in people's gardens to find carrots to eat and scrounge up 59 cents to go buy a can of Spanish rice at the IGA, I got an idea. Maybe I should call my grandma, see if I can live with her. So I did. And she was so happy to hear from me. Where are you? I'll come and get you. 3 hours later, my grandma's here to pick me up. We go over to my best friend's apartment because she's back now with her husband, and I'm going to get a few of my things. And we go back to where she lives, and she never said anything. Never a question, never a comment, not a judgment, just smiling ear to ear and happy to see me. We get into the small town she lives in, and she's like, do you need anything? And then she kind of answers her own question, and we just go to a store and she buys me underwear and socks and jeans and shirts and, stuff that I needed. Got me a job until I went into the Air Force. At that time, I just was so full of gratitude and thanking her, of course. But through my lifetime, as other events unfolded, she never, ever had any judgment toward me. She only had love. And that's all I ever saw her give anybody. And she passed away about 7 years ago, and I think I am in awe of her more now than I was when she was here with us. And I've been contemplating the love that she showed everybody. When people would talk about people, when you would start to gossip, or maybe there was some kind of thing going on in the family, and people would kind of like get on a bandwagon of talking about people. And if she would catch wind of that, she would not say anything to you. She wouldn't shake a finger. She would just listen. And then there, would be a pause in the conversation, and she would say, oh, I know. When she was little, X, Y, and Z things happened to her, and when he was, a new dad and losing his job, and he, had a huge accident, and she would tell you the lives of these people that you were talking about. She wouldn't say it's not nice to do that. She would just have empathy for them. She lived in the same town that she was basically born in, went to school, lived 101 years of her life in this town. She did travel, she did go places, but she stayed in that town for 101 years, and she knew the people. So when she said something like that with empathy, that was her way of teaching us love. And I know, for one, I did not appreciate it at the time. I mean, I would maybe get another perspective and think, yeah, I didn't think about that. And her way was saying, you know, but that's how it is for everybody. That's the kind of person she was. She never yelled. She didn't talk about people. She volunteered. She was bowling when she was in her 80s. She was a hospital volunteer. I mean, she did all this after she retired when she was 67 years old. She just gave and gave and gave. My grandfather, her husband, you know, passed on when she was in her late 50s. So she went from, you know, nearly 60 to 101 on her own. There would be men that wanted to date her, and she was like, no, I'm not interested in that. She just gave everything to everyone. Not just one, but everyone. And I started to think about this yesterday, and I said, you know, talking to her, that's what talking to God should be like. You know, you're not getting judgment, you're getting an education, you're getting compassion, you're getting love. And I feel so much gratitude that I knew this person. We called her Gigi because she was a great, great grandmother when she passed on when she was 101. She was just a really special person. And the poem is called My Grandmother. If I were a body of water, I would be a river, wielding my tributaries to branch out into the expanse of nature, my currents running to me and from me, streaming a rhythm to an estuary of life, providing nourishment to the firstborn of succeeding generations. If I could exist in the air, I would be a breeze, the grace of my calmness penetrating the sweat of daily labor, bringing a sigh, a stillness to the efforts of a day. If I were a bit of earth, I would be a mountain, where gracious peaks and valleys provided shelter for life and sustenance for growth, protecting even the gentleness of a rose. Power would encompass my presence and my silence. If I could exist as a fire, I would be the sun, emanating a flame to warm the harshest tundra, to temper the cadence of the darkest night. Impossible? Looking behind me, I see my answer. No matter how far I travel, how long the journey, my pursuit has been made more certain, more sure, provided to me from a century of wisdom, a century of faith. Streaming through my veins, breathing through my lungs, steadying the pathway ahead, whispering warmth into my soul, is my river, my breeze, my mountain, my sun. My grandmother is with me. My grandmother is with me.